Hi folks, this is Michael Taylor, host of Theater Corner. Today we're at Los Angeles, California at the Geffen Playhouse, sitting with our guest Amari Cheatom. Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
So very good to see you.
Good
so
to be
very
here.
Good to have you here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You're here at the Geffen Playhouse. You're about to perform in another Dominique Morisseau piece.
Yes.
And you're playing a character, Dez.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this character.
So, Dez is a young man, well, youngish. He's at a point in life where it's time to make some major decisions about how to stabilize his life. And now he's looking to stabilize his life against the backdrop of a plant that is closing down. He's having to deal with reckoning with his dreams or the idealistic way that he sees his life going relative to the impending closing of the plant.
Is there something about this character that speaks to you?
Dez is a man who is easily put into different boxes that exist for black men in society.
I see.
And so the thing that makes him human is his need to survive and his need to carve out his own in the world. And I think that he does that with a sense of morals and ethics that I think get taken for granted, especially when you consider the boxes that he's put into.
So he's breaking stereotypes.
He's breaking stereotypes. He's breaking stereotypes in a big way, and I think that what's exciting about working on the role is constantly excavating for those moments where he is being a stand-up guy, you know, and they're there. Dominique writes them in.
And so this Dominique Morisseau pieces, I mean, you've done more than just Skeleton Crew. You've also performed in
Detroit 67.
Detroit 67. Yes. What is it about the Dominique pieces that it calls you back? Is there something, a particular appeal to her pieces?
Well, I think, first of all, I know Dominique from New York when she was an actor.
Okay.
And in fact, we sat next to each other reading a play together, and that was my first encounter with her. I did not know she was a writer. And then years later, she pops up and it's like, gotta be in a Dominique Morisseau play. And so there's that. Just that kind of makes me smile, our history. And second, her love for Detroit is infectious. I mean, when we talk about love, when we talk about romance love or unconditional love, you know, I'm of the belief that unconditional love is rare, and it takes a special relationship between a person and whatever the object is to have unconditional love. And she definitely has an unconditional, and I think most Detroiters do have an unconditional love for a city that was pretty much forgotten, you know,
right.
And there's a pride around that comes with that love that just, I don't know, it brightens her up in a way, and it also gives her a steel edge in a way. I've seen Dominique be the most charming, like, just wonderful, bright person to be around,
Right.
and I've also seen Dominique like decide she's not taking this mess. You know, I'm not taking that. You know, and you can see her kind of like when you see her do it, it's like, oh, you've decided this on many occasions, and you only made this decision when it was necessary. And it seems like a thing that she had to take on, and I attribute that from her to her relationship with her city. You know. And thirdly, the language of the plays. For an actor, it's butter, man.
I see.
Butter. You know, she definitely writes from the heart, and she writes with her ear, and so, you know, it flows, and the way that the text flows with the emotional arcs, it's like driving It's not even like driving a nice Benz or anything like that. It's like an old school, you hooked up.
All right.
And it's for you.
Okay, deuce and a quarter.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Oh, which is interesting, her coming from the Motor City.
Right.
It's like taking your time around those huge curves. You're not gonna mess up but then it can get up and go when it needs to.
Right.
It's rugged, but it's also beautiful.
Right.
So yeah.
In that August Wilson kind of way, giving that voice to just the everyday person.
I'd say. Well, and then even because I was gonna mention August or Mr. Wilson when I was talking about Detroit, because he had a similar thing with Pittsburgh.
Right.
But then the way that Dominique grows or takes it to the next level is her voice, the way she allows the women's voice to. To be a major center of these plays. One conversation that has been had around Faye actually is that, when women are cast of a certain age to play Faye, it's taken some getting used to for these women to come and take on this much of dialogue, this much text, and drive a play in this way. Just because, as far as their careers had gone, they hadn't really run into roles like this on a regular basis.
Oh, okay.
So it's a shift for everybody.
I see. A gift from Dominique.
Yeah, absolutely. To the culture.
Right. What is it about theater that brings you back to the stage?
Theater is so muscular. As simple as a moment may be, I'm still checking in with my feet. I'm still conscious of what my hands are doing. I'm aware of my entire body. I'm as aware as I can be of the actors, their entire bodies, even what's going on behind me that I can't see. The relationship with the audience is, recently I've come to understand that when a play happens, it's not just people coming to watch a play. It's a collaboration between audience and actors.
I agree.
And that realization made it even more sacred than I had even understood it to be in the past. And I don't know how else to duplicate that. Like, if theater were to vanish, or if live performance were to vanish, how does technology fill in that gap?
Right. Good point. Yeah. And so you're a Juilliard man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Black excellence. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
So, is there something that you picked up at Juilliard, and that experience that really formed your acting that sticks with you today? Anything in particular?
Yeah. I'm not even sure that Juilliard thinks of their training this way, but it really established with me a spiritual relationship between being an actor, the characters, and myself. So the things that I learned at school, the techniques that I was taught, I've taken into everyday life. Because it is about the relationship between your mind, body, and soul, and then the text.
Right.
And the relationship between your experiences and experiences that you've never encountered before. And so with that, there's a thing of relating to human beings that I've, like doing Chekhov. I don't know any Russians right now, and I don't know any Russians from 200 years ago, 100 years ago.
Right.
But I find that when you dig into that work, or with the techniques that I learned in school, with how to break down a script or how to read through a text, you begin to see that, at a certain level, if you can dig past the surface at a certain level, we all have the same needs, and people have been writing about those needs since people have been writing.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. So there's a lot of up-and-coming actors that watch Theater Corner, and I wonder if you've been in the game for a bit. If you have any particular advice for up-and-coming actors?
You know what? I just had a son born 2 weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Even while my girlfriend was pregnant with my son, this thing developed in me that I don't think I had before, which was a grounded relationship to the industry. And I think that if I had developed that on my own, even without having a son, if I had developed that in my early 20s, I just feel like my career would be a little further ahead. And that might just be my personal experience too. Some people who are super young already have this, and I've seen it. A very grounded relationship to the industry side of things. So for myself and for people like me who are artists and who love what they do, but maybe very talented, but the business side of things, the industry side of things doesn't come naturally, I would just say, pay a little more attention to that.
You have any parting words about the play, The Skeleton Crew?
I mean, it's an exciting ride with real people that I've come to love. Each character for different reasons. Each character for different reasons annoy me. There are people that you will have a full experience with, and the person you came with, you're definitely gonna have a difference in opinion about who was right,
correct,
who was wrong. I find myself in rehearsal a lot saying there is no right or wrong. So it's definitely, if you can open yourself up, I think like any theatrical piece can be a transcendent experience.
Okay, all right. Well, the best to you on this piece,
Thank you very much.
Skeleton Crew.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for giving me a bit of your time.
No worries.
And thank you, viewers, for tuning into another episode of Theater Corner. We'll see you next time.